Opening the sutra.
Good afternoon, everyone. Dharma is sharp. My goodness, we got a live one here in this retreat. There's so many sparks of Dharma flashing like lightning. So much deepening, so much struggle. Perhaps you're sitting here thinking to yourself, well, he's not talking about me. You'd be wrong. You would be deeply mistaken. I encourage you to respect your process as much as I do, perhaps more. The noble work is never looked different. It always has to do with being willing to confront that edge. Whatever it is, and causes and conditions and karmic forces vary. The places where different beings get stuck as, some here, some there, some elsewise. But that's what we're here to do, folks. We're not here to escape from the troubles. We're here to directly charge into it and confront them. I bring your attention to Kuan Yin. Perhaps you've never noticed a few things I would like to bring to your awareness. Perhaps you know them well. I should like to remind you of them. Yes, she has a serene smile. It's not a fake. It's not a mask. And yet, at the same time, tears come. And let me say, they are not tears of joy. How can it be? This one face, serene smile, and deep, true tears. But there's more. Notice she's upright. Sometimes at royal ease, always upright. And note that she is standing in the midst of the flames. She's not up here somewhere else looking down at those who are in the flames of the suffering and feeling bad for them from her safe space. Oh no. No, dear one, she is standing right in the midst of those flames. Not evading, not escaping. However, also not being consumed somehow. Behold, she holds in the other hand a jar of nectar, of ambrosia, of sweet relief that she pours even now onto those flames as they would consume her, as they would consume you and me. That's some serious mojo there. Mumonkan Case 1, Joshu's Moo. A monk asked Master Joshu, has a dog Buddha nature or not? Master Joshu said, Moo. Moo. Mumon's commentary. Selected, edited bits. For the attainment of incomparable Satori, one has to cast away discriminating mind. This is the barrier of Zen, the gateless barrier of Zen. Those who have passed through Mu will not only see Joshu clearly, but will go hand in hand with all the masters of the past and those of the future and those here in this moment. They will see them face to face. See with the same eye that the ancestors and the successors see with. The same eye. Hear with the same ear. Smell with the same nose. Feel with the same skin. Taste with the same tongue. Eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind. Cast away your illusory discriminating knowledge and all the consciousness accumulated up to now and keep on keeping on. After a while, and it might be a minute, but after a while, all the opposites of yin and yang, yes and no, right and wrong. Where is that? They are simply not the issue they once were. Resolved clearly. Centuries later, in fact, the 9th century, Master Rinzai there's a beautiful account that I think is quite fitting to this moment. From Linji's record, 9th century. The Master Rinzai ascended the mountain seat and said, "Here in this lump of red flesh lies a true person of no rank. Constantly, this true person of no rank goes in and out of all the gates in your face. If there are any of you who don't know this for a fact, then look. Listen. Feel, smell, taste, touch. Pay attention. Don't you dare just hang out in a black fog of nothing. That won't do. Look, listen. This true person of no rank coming and going through the gates of your face. The sounds, the sights, smells, the tastes. What the heck is being pointed to here? Now, at that time, there was a practitioner in the assembly came forward, and they asked, "What is this like, this true person of no rank? What is he like?" Suddenly, the master descended from his high seat, seized hold of the monk, and said, "Speak, say something now. Say something, respond." I don't know that the monk saw that coming. The monk was about to say something, but suddenly the master let go and gave him a shove. True person of no rank? Shitty ass wiper. Yeah, his translation, not. Literally, it says, true person of no rank, what a shitty ass wiper. Just to make it clear, that's in the text. I would be failing in my duties if I did not present the clear Dharma. I wonder if the monk soiled himself. That's not in the text. It's a little between the lines thing. The master then returned to his quarters. Abuse. Oppressor and oppressed. A dominator and a subjected. I think not. Please try to see deeply into what's happening here. Feel it. The master ascends the high seat. Here, in this very body, in this lump of flesh, there is a true person of no rank, a true person of no position, Constantly, this true person of no rank comes and goes through the gates of your very face. If there are any of you who don't know what this is for a fact, then listen, look, taste, touch, smell, feel. And he looked, hopefully, anticipating. A monastic rose and asked, what is this person like, this true person of no rank? Suddenly, swiftly, the master used the force and force jumped. Seized hold of him and said, speak, speak. Why did he do that? You see, the thing is here, folks, that the intellectual mind is not capable of perceiving Buddha nature. It simply cannot do it. It may be able to think thoughts that are aligned with it, that adequately enough give word and voice to it, perhaps, arguably. But it cannot in itself directly perceive it. Buddha nature is not seen by a seer. You don't see it. This monk comes up, oh gosh, what's that person like? There's a person inside you with no rank. What's that all about? Wow. Bro, do you even sit? Now here, as the monk opened their mouths to begin to speak, the master wouldn't allow it. I tell you something that's not necessarily in the print. If he had had something worthy to say, it would have been felt and perceived and encouraged and allowed. Was Rinzai psychic? Could he just read the dude's mind? No, not as such. He could sure feel the dude's feeling, though. You know, you radiate your feeling. Did you know that? Like it or not, whether you're aware of it or not, each of us is in fact radiating our mind at all times. That's not too hard to see. It's not too hard to feel. Old Rinzai could tell whatever this practitioner was about to say was not coming from the Dharma eye. Therefore, I don't want to hear it. And neither do you. It simply won't do. Even if it's correct. This is a stumbling block. There are some folk of sharp mind that are able to grasp the cognitive stuff. Be careful about that. Do not confuse what the cognitive mind can understand from the work itself. And that conditioning runs very, very deep. The Venerable here did a major intervention. First by moving up and grabbing him. Why did he do that? You know, there have been times in my training when I thought I knew what's going on and how it works. Watch out. No, you don't. If I don't know, you sure don't. Let's just get clear about that. Well, I had no warning. Neither did I. I didn't know you were going to do that. Neither did I. That is not the point. Now, is it? Rather, the Master's Dharma, I gave him a very clear directive. And Rinzai trusts his Sangha and his students enough to actually act on that. Appreciate that. There have been times, as I was saying, where I think I've got a rap on things. So many ways have I been thrown upside down. And I used to think, how does Roshi do that? Does Roshi just have like a deck of like intervention responses ready at hand? You know? And now I know that it doesn't work that way. Perhaps there are some patterns here and there, but the fact is the Dharma provides a unique and tailored ass-kicking for you and for me. Or said more politely, we get exactly the encouragement we need. And one of the big elements in training is learning to recognize that Dharma eye, intuitive mind, and trusting it. And really, when things are complete, they don't contest with one another. The intellect, the emotions, and the Dharma eye, these things are all perfectly content with each other, honestly. Although it may not seem that way at times. Anyway, I've never had a teacher actually suddenly jump up and grab me. I'm not really going to suddenly jump up and grab you. But I don't need to touch you to grab you, do I? And I do not need to touch you to push you. Neither do you need to touch someone else to push them, do you? What do you hold on to? What do you push away? The power of that mind is far stronger than your best PR, personal rep, for how hard you can hit the heavy bag. The monk was about to respond, whereupon the master suddenly let him go. The hand that holds on, the hand that lets go. Shoved him away. A person of true person with no rank, you rice bag. And he left. Later, the master would say this: if you want to be no different from the Buddhas and the ancestors, then never look for something outside yourselves. If you want to be no different from the Buddhas and the ancestors and the successors, then never look for something outside yourselves. Don't put it outside yourself. He went on, this is important. The clear, pure light in a moment of your mind. The clear, pure light in one mind moment, one instant of mind. That is the essence body, the Dharmakaya of the Buddha residing in you. The undifferentiated light in a moment of mind. That is the bliss body, the Sambhogakaya of the Buddha in you. The undiscriminating light in a moment of your mind. That is the transformation body, the Nirmanakaya of the Buddha in you. These three types of bodies are none other than you yourself. The person who sits now before listening to this lecture on the Dharma. The Dharmakaya, Nirmanakaya, Sambhogakaya are none other than the one who is now hearing these words, or the one speaking them, the seen and the unseen. Did you notice yet? This is you. This is not someone else, guys. This doesn't apply to long dead folks of cooler places and mystical traditions. This is right here, right now. Realize it or not. The Venerable went on, and simply because you do not rush around seeking anything outside yourselves, then you can command these fine faculties. What is this not rushing around and seeking anything outside yourself? What does it mean when all things in the 10 directions are none other than your own true body? Is that just the nice, happy, cozy things in the world? We're the Buddhists, they're the non-Buddhists. Oh, come closer. Let me encourage you. We are the virtuous, wholesome practitioners of the pure way. No, I'll come to you. He went on, you earnest followers of the way, this thing called mind has no fixed form. No fixed form. This mind only. Recognizing things are only that which is perceived by mind itself, including your sense of self. Even that intangible, perhaps, sense of yourself as an entity. There you are. That feeling that buffs up that actually is that sense of self. That too has no fixed form. Yet it penetrates all the 10 directions. North, south, east, west, up, down. All the diagonals, everything, everywhere. It means all space and time. From the most minute to the most vast. This mind has no fixed form. So why do you carry that baggage around? Dear one, this devotion is misplaced. Do not be devoted to your conditioning. That conditioning is not devoted to you. Oh no. You are your own prison guard. You create the prison, you build the prison, you're proud of the prison, you have all the keys, you lock yourself in, you close the door, you think it's going to do you some good, and it doesn't, and you stay there anyway. Why? You do not need to do this. There's no jailer. No one is pushing you in there. No one is headlocking you into that space. You are free, if you would but realize it. You know, those stories of animals that get trained so that they no longer even try. You are your own worst trainer. No one can hurt you as much as your own mind untrained. No one can get even close to hurting you as much as that. And similarly, fortunately, it's not fixed like that. So too, there is no greater ally available to you than your own mind trained and realized and free. Do not rush around seeking anything outside yourself. Even if it seems like a great thing. I want to connect with the ancestors, or I want to find virtue, or I need to find compassion. I need to realize equanimity. Where will I find it? This book, that podcast, this workshop, this car, that vacation, this person, this meal, whatever. You know, if there's one thing that happens at sesshin, you give up your pretty much everything. And that's why it's a really rough edge, folks. I mean, I would like to bring attention to how difficult it is for the Sangha leadership and for the Sangha participants. We have to honor what's true, but not kid ourselves and constantly bake in all these escape hatches. And ultimately, no one really can know which one it is but you. I don't know. I can't tell. Grow up. Make the decision that you really should be making here. You know, you can fool me. Did you know that? You can. It's somewhat of an accomplishment, I'll say. But it's not that hard, really. If you tell me, oh, I need to do this because of that, I'll say, okay. And just because I say okay doesn't mean you're right. It means I'm accepting what you're saying to me. It's on you, each one of us, to be wielding those words honestly and authentically. Spirit I felt in my teacher. There's a kind of a steel in the spine, I suppose. It's not mean or problematic, but it's hard won, and it comes from really not putting up with that jailer anymore. Nor the stories that give weight to it and credibility to it. The habitual patterns that reinforce this self-loathing, self-doubt. And it can take many of us a long time to really feel into authentically how to navigate that. But I tell you this, it's not about avoiding pain and leaning into pleasure. Just because something is difficult doesn't mean you should avoid it. Just because something is pleasurable doesn't mean it's good for you. That's true in general, and it's true in particular when it comes to training, because your ego will fight like crazy in ways that you cannot predict to sustain its grip. And oh, it's clever. Let's say it like this. It's at least as clever as you are. So you're matched. Maybe outmatched. Do not rush around seeking anything outside yourselves. And then you shall be able to wield these fine faculties. There's nothing wrong with seeing and hearing and tasting and touching and thinking and feeling. It's delicious. It's gorgeous. To even be alive is miraculous. I know it's difficult to perceive in the midst of the stubbed toe, but the fact is that even the experience of the stubbed toe is just a gorgeous expression of the cosmos, unwelcome as it may be. That is it just as much as anything else. Same with words. Remember, words are it too. Don't forget that. But again, there's no seer who sees this Buddha nature. And that seer is based on language. That sense of you who's going to see it, the operating system of it is language. Watch out. Watch out. We have to go through training wherein we learn how to be in right relationship to the body, to the senses, and to language. Some say that, like visual perception is the kind of field within which the eye swims, so to speak, and hearing sounds are the field within which the ear swims, so to say, and language is the field within which mind swims, or the brain. Nothing wrong with it. I'm throwing out my fair share of them into the world, as many of us are. And yet, this thing called mind has no fixed form. It pervades and penetrates all the cosmos. In the eye, we call it sight. In the ear, we call it hearing. In the nose, it detects odor. In the mouth, it speaks discourse. In the hand, it grasps. In the feet, it runs along. Basically, it is a single bright essence. Another ancient worthy said it is one bright pearl. But it divides itself into these 6 functions: eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind. And because the single mind has no fixed form, it is everywhere in a state of complete freedom, complete emancipation, which is why you're completely free to put yourself in that jail cell and close the door. Ain't nothing going to stop you if that's what you want to do. Nothing can stop you. It's your show. If that's not clear yet, sit very, very still and really pay attention. Watch. Really watch. And I don't mean look at the floor really hard. I mean, with your mind's eye, pay exquisite and meticulous attention to the subtlest murmuring and movements of the mind itself. That's where the work is. Why do I tell you this? Master Rinzai went on. Because you followers of the way seem to be incapable of stopping this mind that goes rushing around everywhere looking for something. Maybe you get quiet for a minute, but I give you a poke, and that old conditioning comes right back up again before you even know it's happening. But there it is again, isn't it? Do you see it this time? I tell you this, even if you can't stop that response from happening, if you can at least in some way see it as it's occurring, even though you're powerless to stop it, that is major progress. That's much better than identifying with it and saying, oh, that's me. And that's just how I am. And that's what it is. Dear one, you are far more boundless than that. You can be that if you want, but you don't have to. But you have to become awake to that conditioning to be able to see it. Then you can let it go. And over again, it arises, causes conditions, the thing gets triggered, the trap springs, it starts, and you go, wait, but you can't stop. So it goes anyway, but you can at least see that it's happening. It's almost like, there was one time when I was driving very slowly down through Oak Openings Park to get home. And you know that squalor that we had, not squalor, what's called a swale, the big snowstorm. Is it a swale? Is that what it was? Squall, something, Sasquatch. And I was going very, very slow. I was really, nonetheless, the truck, it was this great Ford F-150. I used to love that truck. That was fun. That was really cool. But anyway, not so good in the snow. I'm eking my way along, and then the thing just starts to spin out slowly. But nonetheless, I couldn't stop it. There was nothing I could do. No angle, no brake, no pumping. It was just happening anyway. Fortunately, it was slow, but it was like, I could at least see, I could see that it was happening, but there was nothing I could do. Can you relate? That's far better than being like, yeah, let's go. And just barreling down there and thinking, well, that's how I roll, man, as you spin off. That's just me. So it's a little bit like that. Sometimes, it's kind of strange, but my teacher would actually deliberately trigger me and then walk away. The hell? But actually, it was heaven shining its light upon me, giving me the opportunity to actually see that spinning start. Eventually you figure out, I'm going to put some snow tires on, put a little weight in the back of the truck. It's a device. You don't need it in the summer, but now you do. And guess what? It starts to skid out less. That's even better, right? Consider the ox herding pictures. You can't even see it. You have no idea. You are just lost amongst the weeds and the grasses. You don't know anything, but you know you need something. Then you see tracks. Then you get a glimpse. I can't quite tell what it is, but you're seeing something. And yes, you are. Yes, you are. Don't doubt it. Stay with it. And then there's the great tussle, the nose ring stage. Put that thing in the beast's nose with a rope and you're fighting back and forth. That's the snow tires and the weight in the back. Do it. Do that. Don't just keep advocating for the truck in the ice. Well, it's natural. Why am I saying all this? Said Master Rinzai. Why did I leap down and grab that practitioner and let him go and not let him speak? Because you, followers of the way, seem to be incapable of stopping this mind that goes rushing around everywhere looking for something. So you get caught up in these idle devices that are ancient. It's nothing unique to you. You're not that special. There is nothing unique. This is a feature of human experience. Don't worry about it. It's not like you did something personally. You know, it's like having 5 fingers on your hand. Learning how to wield it right, now that's up to you. Followers of the way, this lone brightness before my eyes now, these people listening plainly to me in this very moment. This person is unimpeded at any point, but penetrates all the 10 directions and is free to do as they please in the threefold world of form, formlessness, and desire. Free to do anything you please. The true person of no rank is not bounded, has no fixed form, stands and arises now as Kuan Yin, now as Manjushri. No matter what environment this person of no rank may encounter, no matter what the peculiarities or differences are, they cannot be swayed nor pulled away. Every aspect of the training matrix here only exists in this way, in this form, to help each one of us find that inherent perfection and give life to it and give expression to that freedom. That freedom which is not subject to yin and yang, push and pull, right and wrong. How will you find it? How will you realize it? Luckily for all of us, we don't have to figure it out on the fly by ourselves. I don't think I could. In fact, I know I couldn't. Prajna, wisdom, is what sees Buddha nature, not your intellect. Your Dharma eye, so-called, is what sees it. You've got to find it. I can't find it for you. My teacher couldn't find it for me. Fortunately, my teacher could manifest it right in front of me over and over and over again for seasons, years, decades. And sometimes gradually, often gradually, sometimes suddenly, we tumble in. We catch the feeling, and then it slips away again until it doesn't anymore. And there's no substituting for the deep end of sesshin. There's no faster way than to slow radically down stop chasing and stop pushing away, and simply bring all of your might and all of your intent and everything you are right into this very moment and keep going. So enough talking. Let's get back to it.
Things are numberless. I bow to freedom. Illusions are inexhaustible. To end them, Dharma is our boundless. I vow to enter beings are numberless. I vow to freedom. Illusions are inexhaustible. I vow to end them. Dharma is our boundless. I vow to enter them. Thou is unsurpassable. I vow to embody it. Beings are numberless. I vow to freedom. Illusions are inexhaustible. I vow to end them. Dharma is our boundless. I vow to enter them. Love is unsurpassable. I vow to embody it.